Hello there, Z Trooper reporting for duty, and this is part 4 of What If Deku was the son of All for One. We last left off on where All Might was asking for Deku if he wants to accept his power, and we start here. When All Might was explaining One for All to Deku, and say how strong he was and had a heart of hero. So instead of training for Deku for 10 months to get One for All Might was training Deku on how to use the power. He trained the same way on the beach, but instead of him training to gain All Might's power, he was training on how to learn it, control it, and use it on any percentage, even at its full strength, without hurting himself. He finished cleaning the beach 3 weeks before the entrance exam, when the 10 months were over. And a day before the entrance exam, Deku was at his house finishing and designing his own costume. And it's a lot different how it is in the original story. A little different, sort of. He got a text from All Might saying that he wants to meet him at the beach when the sun was about to go down. Deku was a bit curious though. He was curious on. He thought to himself, I wonder why All Might wants to see me at a day before the entrance exam. Probably just wants to wish me luck or something. Later on that night, Deku went to the beach when the sun was about to go down. Where All Might was, it was just where All Might wanted to see him. When Deku was there, he just saw All Might looking in the distance at the sunset. It looked like he was thinking. Deku walked up to All Might saying, So, you wanted to see me? All Might didn't say anything for a few seconds. But then, after a while, he just looked at him and smiled. And just said to Deku, You know, kid, you remind me of a younger me back before I became hero. Filled with drive and spirit. Hoping to make a difference in the world. Now, all that training led up to you having the same fate as me, becoming the #1 hero, and letting people know you'll be there for them. And I can retire in peace, knowing I trained a great successor. Deku started to shed a tear, but because what All Might said, All Might wanted to tell Deku that he did a great job, and hopes he'll continue the legacy and the growth of One for All. Deku said, Of course, All Might. I promise I'll keep growing the power and pass it on to another worthy person. Till then, I'll keep the world safe from harm. All Might smiled and just said, That's good, my boy. But remember, there are just some promises you or even I can't keep. Their bond was a lot stronger in this story, since they didn't spend all time training his body. Some days they took a day off or two. They talked and bonded like how fathers and sons do. Since Deku's real dad was a villain, he was very busy and couldn't stay home for long. Almost 3 years ago is when his dad went back to work on trying to heal himself and grow his organization secretly. And he wasn't there to train him and go see his son to go into UA. Deku was a little sad, but he had All Might. When his dad wasn't there, All Might was. More than a teacher, a mentor. More like a father he never had. The day the entrance exam was here, and it was time to go into UA. His mother stopped him before he went to the school. She just said to her son, Good luck. Deku said, Thanks, Mom. On his way there, he was happy knowing his mother was happy for him. When he got there, he met Bakugo, and Deku didn't say anything but, Good luck. Bakugo said, Who needs luck when you got skill? a different encounter than in the original story. Since Deku was a lot more confident, he wasn't all nervous or anything like that. But he was still intrigued on how big the school was and how nice it looked. Since he was a while outside for a while, long enough for Ochako to be in front of him, but instead of Deku falling and her catching him, she fell since there was a bump on the path. And when she was about to fall, he was the one to catch her instead. It was another way around. She didn't know what happened and was about to say thank you to the person who saved her. She turned around and she just saw a guy with dark green hair with a bright smile saving her from an embarrassing fall. They started to talk for a while and decided to sit next to each other at the presentation about the test. Everything to the point where the robot's test played the same, but instead of getting only the 0-pointer, Deku got a few robots. When the 0-point robot showed up and everyone runs away. When everyone was running away from the robot, Deku was wondering where Ochako was. And he heard a familiar voice scream for help. And when he turned around, he just saw her trapped under some rubble and trying to scream for help. He used his one for all to take the massive jump to the robot and hit him with his lightning. Since one for all increases a person's quirk, it gave him the ability to shoot a bolt of lightning to the robot and made it fall. Although there are parts everywhere with lightning still sparking all over it with smoke everywhere. Everybody, including the teachers and Ochako, were very impressed on what Deku did. Since he had the healing quirk and already knew how to master one for all, he didn't break his arms or legs. But he still didn't know how to land, and tried to improvise on how to land before he hit the ground. Same in the original story, Ochako slapped him to make sure he didn't hit the ground. Deku didn't have any major injury, just some scratches and a slap mark on his face. And everyone was wondering on how a kid like that was so powerful and hardly received any damage. The next few days, Deku was waiting for a letter from UA to see if he passed. He was confident that he passed since he knew he got a good amount of robots. When the letter came, he was in the living room with his mom, watching the message, and they said that Deku got in, and he got rescue points from saving the girl. Well, that's all I got for now. It wasn't much. I was busy trying to make some other videos, sort of. But pass on this channel to your friends. Let them know what I'm doing, and if I get up to 10 subscribers, I'm going to do some gaming channels. Not gaming channels, I mean gaming. Like Battlefronts, Red Dead Online, GTA Online, all kinds of good games. And maybe bring on some guests with me. But that's only if I get up to 10 subscribers. So pass it on to your friends. And hope you liked. Click the notification bell, subscribed, and Z Trooper dismissed.